Good morning. It's your girl, Becky D, live in the morning. 7 a.m., 7 days a week. I gotta keep saying that because that's honestly, y'all, when I say that, that's a little bit of motivation for myself to keep going 7 days a week. Honestly, sometimes it is a struggle bus, okay? Struggle bus. But I do it because sometimes I wish that I had somebody that would encourage me. Like, I tried to look up and research and find some motivational podcasts, and honestly, they weren't it. Like, they're just being real. I mean, everything and every way and every setup is for everybody different, but my thing was, like, it wasn't for me. Like, what I was looking for and everything. I need somebody kind of on that keep it real level. And if there's one thing that I love to do is to, like, keep it real. So I decided to make my own. And some days, I'm actually talking to myself, and I feel like, hey, now some days is every day. I'm like, hey, maybe somebody else needs to hear this. So I save it for the morning, so we can talk about it in the morning, okay? But since we still vibing with our tribe this week, I wanted to just go ahead and put it out there. Since we still talking about love, it's still February. Everybody, like, get it a little twisted, because after we get hit Valentine's Day, we kind of go downhill. And, and then people try to throw in a little bit of Black History Month at the end of the month. It's still February. It's February till ain't February no more, okay? This year is a leap year. I'm so excited. Ooh, I'm so excited for my leap year edition. Woo, 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 woo. But the thing is, since we still vibing with our tribe, okay, and we're finding the tribe that match our vibe, we gonna talk about the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I know that it's so generic, dude. We can't find nobody else, but I like the way he said it. Okay, gosh, right? I know he's like the most used and abused historical figure, but goodness, okay. But he said, y'all, just that quick, I forgot the way it went, but he chose love because hate is too great a burden to bear, okay? And I agree with that. There's a little paraphrase there. I know I messed up the first part, but think about that, especially within your tribe, okay? If it's like, ooh, like, you really notice that the people in your group, like, actually legit hate somebody, I don't think you should really be hanging with them, because they holding on to a lot. Like, okay, y'all, story time. So let me take you back to my middle school days, okay? There was a lot of stuff going on. I wasn't the most liked kid. If you had to call me anything, I was a misfit. But the thing was, okay, I never liked the bully. And this one girl, she was just determined to get on my nerves, okay? I don't know what it was, but she was just determined, and I was determined to let her know I ain't gonna take that lightly. And so I held on to it, and it really got to me, and it fueled a lot of anger inside of me, and a lot of things that as a kid, honestly, I don't think you should be thinking about. But let's just say it wasn't gonna end well for baby girl, okay? So thankfully, I was a smart enough kid. I reached out to my parents, and I told them how I had been feeling and what had been happening. So my mama scheduled parent-teacher conference, which any parent should do when their child is complaining, and then they're taking it to another drastic, extreme level. And the teacher just legit said, you two are going to stay as far away as possible. And, like, literally, they legit kept us on opposite. I ended up switching, like, complete teams. Like, that's how serious it was. They did not take it, lightly. They didn't laugh about it like, oh, this girl is crazy. She don't know what she's talking about. They knew I wasn't a problem. And it was like, oh, no, she is serious. Like, as serious as you can be. So, I was kept on one end, and she was kept on the other. And honestly, I had liked her a little bit more like that. To this day, we really don't have a friendship. I wouldn't say we went that far, but I had to get over what I was holding on. Now, if I can figure that out in middle school, some of your people, some of the people you associate yourself with can find that out pretty quick as an adult, okay? We hold on to too much stuff and wonder why we have heart problems, okay? Heart Healthy Month this month, y'all. What you doing? Why we letting this stuff get on our hearts, okay? We put too much in there, it ain't gonna be able to do what it's supposed to do, which is pump blood. Then we having a whole nother problem. So what are you doing to, not hold on to stuff? Now, I'm not saying not be upset. You could be upset, but just don't hold on to it forever, because then it becomes a grudge, and a grudge turns into like pure hate and anger, and then that just keeps fueling you. And sometimes, some days, you'll find yourself that you don't even want to smile, and you despise people who's smiling, and it's just a chain effect. Them chain reactions are horrible, okay? They are the worst. They will make you think that it's just, it's just life and that's just the way it's supposed to be. No, you can have better, brighter days, okay? It can be sunshine and rainbows. But the thing is, in order to get the rainbow, you got to have a little rain. And you got to appreciate that, and you got to understand that, okay? Now, if people in your tribe, if your crew, if your girls, if your boys, they can't understand that, honey, it's time for another reevaluation. And you don't have to tell them. I mean, you can tell them, like, hey, I don't really like the way that, you hold on to stuff. And I don't like, however you got to say it. But you could just go back and say, you could just honestly just distance yourself on the low. You ain't even got to say nothing. Just be like, I don't think I really want to hang out today. And, they may say, oh, why not? It's just like, well, I'm not really feeling it. They can get mad at you for that. If they get mad at you for that, they cuckoo. I'm just being real. They cuckoo, because they never respected you from the beginning. If I go and tell any single one of my friends, of my ladies, I'm sorry, y'all, I gotta move some keys around. If I tell anyone, I'm like, hey, y'all, I can't hang out today. Got called into work. Hey, I can't hang out today. I'm not feeling well. Hey, I'm just not feeling it. And they look at me and be like, ugh, you suck. I guarantee you, we ain't gonna be talking. Because a lot of people, they look at relationships, especially abusive relationships, and I mean, this is for friendships too. Like, friendships can have abuse in it, and they automatically think, oh, she getting toe up, like he tagging that head and she tagging it, whatever the case may be. But honestly, your words hurt more, okay? Your words can legit drive a person to the ultimate end. So it's not just physical abuse, it's the verbal too, y'all. And like your actions, what you do, like, you keep pushing somebody off to the side and stuff like that. Like, some people, they can't handle it, and it really messes with them mentally, physically, spiritually. Like, it gets to some people, and I think people really need to start realizing that. Because, I mean, like I say, we're not all the same, right? What I can roll off my back, Beth may not. And that's the honest and simple truth too, okay? The honest and simple truth. What I can take, if I can take a slap to the face, you may not. You may have never been hit in the face before. Honestly, I have. I've been hit in the face several times, but not by human hands. If Casey is listening to this, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, y'all. So I'm just have to explain that because it's just too funny not to share. So I used to play softball, and it's like certain sports I play, it's like I'm doomed to be injured. And it all started originally when I was playing baseball as a little kid. I wasn't the most liked girl at all growing up. Just put that out there. I mean, I was a cool girl to hang out with, but other than that, like, because some people took that as, oh, you like her and stuff like that, then you know the way kids think. So I was out there playing, and literally it was like my stomach was the target. I ain't even about to trip. So I took a lot of baseballs to the stomach. Softball in high school, half of it was my fault, half of it wasn't. It's that communication thing. Gotta have communication. And I took a few softballs to the head. Okay, one of them actually busted my mouth up pretty good. The other ones just literally right in the crack, like right in the middle of the dome. Okay, and when it happened, the young lady Casey did not know I had already been previously hit in that same spot. And so now every time she saw me, even to this day, I feel like if I run into her again, she would just point to her forehead and bust out laughing. Random people wouldn't get it, but that's the story behind the joke there. That I got my dome rocked a few times. And I don't even want to say it was all the way my fault, because it wasn't. So yeah, so that's that. But we all can't take things the same way, okay? So you got to watch what you say and how you say it and what you do and your actions. And if you felt like you've done something a little wrong or something that'll kind of like make people feel a little iffy, it's okay to go apologize. They may not realize it. Like, I had a coworker of mine, and she didn't realize that the words had already came out of her mouth the way they did. But I understood, the subliminal messages. And she was just pretty much trying to say, hey, could you leave her alone? She's really trying to do her work right now. And I took it. I mean, she didn't say it like that. But, in her mind, she thought it came out very harsh. And that's what I had to tell her. No, it's not that. It's just, I understood what you were saying. And so, I respected that. It wasn't that it came out harsh. I was like, actually, I like the way that you kind of slid that into our conversation. But it was just, I understood what you were saying. And, I appreciate that you thought it was, appropriate for you to come back and apologize. Because not everybody thinks like that. Like, she could have just kept on walking. And it could have really upsetted me. It's like, oh, so you're just going to cut into our conversation like, and then I could have been mad for no reason, okay? Mad for no reason. But that's what we let happen in our lives. We get mad for no reason, and we let things get us, and we let it get to our hearts, and we create all this stress and strain on it, and all this burden that we don't even need, that we could have been avoided, but we hold on to it anyway. Okay? Stop holding on to it. I don't know why y'all hold on to all that stuff. It's to me, it just simply doesn't make sense. Okay? And again, I'm not you and you not me. And we're not all perfect, but we could so try to be. So if you feel like today you need to go and talk to somebody, it's like, hey, yesterday I might have came at you a little sideways, or I might have said something that, kind of upset you, and I didn't mean to. I was just trying to really get my point across, and I was in a moment. Okay? Because we do be in a moment. Oh, I will flip out on a kid in a moment. But it's being woman enough, men enough, human enough to go to somebody and admitting that, maybe I've actually said something that was a little hurtful, or maybe I said something that was a little bit more harsh and aggressive and a little too direct, okay? So make sure you mend those ties. You ain't even gotta like the person, okay? Honestly, some of these people, I don't like them. They don't know. But I am professional enough, adult enough, human enough to understand that I'm not going to get along with everybody, and everybody's not going to like the way that I act, I hold myself, or the things that I do. And I respect that, okay? It's a whole respect thing, okay? I respect you, you respect me. That's all I ask for in communication. Some people say it's pretty easy to date me. I think so, because I don't ask for a lot. But just know that I'm not you and you're not me, but I do love you, like as if you are me, okay? So, my name is Becky D, with Becky D in the Morning, live every single morning, 7 days a week, 7 a.m. Y'all tune in, listen up, get motivated. Let something get to you deep down in the bottom of the depths of your soul, and let it help fuel you, okay? If you're listening to this in March, like the whole February series in March, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. If you listen to this in 2030, ain't nothing wrong with that. These words still apply to that generation, okay? Which we're going to talk about that on another day. But Again, if nobody in the world has ever told you today that they love you, know that I love you from the deep depths of my heart. And I will continue to love you and continue to make sure that you are in my continued prayers all across the board, all across the world. My name is Becky D. I'll see you all in the morning.